bought in to, they said, into the New Deal, new approach, that they haven't at all bought in on this issue, because the first two sentences of what it says in the Appendix 2, the education system has a diversity of school types, each with its own distinctive ethos and values. However, it is not sustainable. The target of those two sentences is that you can't go on with the current diversity in school types. Yet barely at all in this debate have we heard any addressing of that problem, of the sheer diversity of school types. Indeed, we've had defence, particularly from the SDLP, of maintaining the current school types. Yes, I will.
Not defend that sector at all. I stood here to inform the House of the good work which it does, and I stand here to state that I am up for change, and I am sure they are up for change, and I know that change is needed, and change will come about.
Members, next a minute.
Well, it wasn't actually the member I had in mind. It was the first speaker from the SDLP that I had in mind, but if the cap fits, wear it, I suppose. No. Okay.
Let you know, when you attack one of us, you attack us all.
I'll say the same. Right. You know, we've had this running away from the issue of diversity in school types. Indeed, it's notable that the Sinn Féin amendment to the motion takes out a critical word. The motion ends by calling for an inclusive single education system. The Sinn Féin amendment removes the word inclusive, because it's quite clear that Sinn Féin, indeed it was clear from Mr O'Dowd's contribution, they're not prepared to address the diversity of types because there are sacred cows. And for them, of course, the greatest sacred cow is the Irish medium sector. And so we have this situation where Irish medium can't be touched, maintained sector can't be touched. So who is going to be the victim in all of this? Is it going to be the controlled sector? Is that where the fire and the focus is? I fear it is. And new document, new approach talks about equity. Well, let's talk about equity. I recently asked a series of questions of the Minister. I asked, what is the per pupil spend across the four sectors? And here are the figures. The controlled sector gets the least money, $3,531 per pupil. Next comes the maintained sector, $3,611. Next comes the integrated controlled sector, $3,669. And away out ahead is the Irish medium sector on $3,821. So the Irish medium sector already gets 8% more than the controlled sector. It gets 6% more than the maintained sector. So if we're going to talk about equity, let's talk about it. But let's recognise we can't have these sacred cows. And if we're looking for efficiencies, if we're looking for equity, if we're looking for the issue of diversity and tackling it and reducing the number of sectors, then surely on any of those approaches, the most obvious candidate is the Irish medium sector. It is the most fated financially in this system. It is the one that's incapable of integration because it wants to teach in a different language. Yes, very well.
I think the member given way. Surely the member must realise that the Irish medium sector has been deprived of necessary funding from this House for many, many years and now is playing catch-up. It provides an invaluable contribution to communities such as mine and towns like Strabane and Omagh, and I would like the member to acknowledge that it does have a positive impact on the lives of many children.
Catch-up, where you can now create an Irish medium school with 12 pupils? How is that playing catch-up? That is favouritism within the system. And I would like the Minister to assure us that if there is any independent review within its terms of reference, will be addressing the diversity of the system, whether we can sustain all the sectors, whether equity will address the overfunding of some to the detriment of others, and that we're not just interested in creating a system where we protect the two sacred cows of Irish medium and maintained and sacrifice the controlled sector, because it sounds very much like that to me in terms of this direction of travel.
I now call on the Minister of Education, Mr Peter Weir, to respond to the debate, and you shall have up to 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Could I first of all thank